all I'm going to say to you is, go and microwave yourself.
Oh God, that's horrible, Mark. That's dark.
Yeah.
People do not microwave yourself.
If you pop your head in a microwave...
No, Mark.
Hang on. Listen.
Oh God,
listen.
we're in trouble. Maddie's in the room. Mark's going to show off.
Listen, if you put your head in a microwave...
Dad, you don't want to get cancelled.
You can't do anything because you can't shut the door.
Maddie just said, Dad, you don't want to get cancelled.
For a microwave comment. But you can't do anything because you can't shut the door.
That's true. Just let's stay away from microwaves.
Microwaves.
Friday quiz.
Wow, it's Friday, so there's going to be a quiz towards the end.
Jesus Christ.
But meanwhile, through this half hour or so that we're going to spend this wonderful time with you, we are going to be chatting about all kinds of things.
We're going to be talking about McDonald's.
And your order.
Bake Off. I'm a gynecologist. Have you seen a doctor? Adrian Childs. Really curious story there. Quiz of the week, obviously.
Say what the story is just a little
No,
bit,
I'm
in
not.
case somebody's
No,
in
no,
America
no.
and they don't know who Adrian Childs
Well,
is.
I'm not going to say what the story is because it's a surprise story. It's like
Okay.
what is your problem? It's like ITV News telling you what the and finally story is.
No, I suppose because if I was watching from somewhere else in the world, and we have many people around the world, I'd just go, well, who the hell is Adrian Childs?
He's a very, very, very grumpy but very funny man
Yes.
off the telly. We're also going to be looking at Oxfam's, bizarre
I'm
language.
seeing that tomorrow. I've just remembered.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Calm down.
I forgot.
Why? What's wrong? Have you double booked?
Well, no.
You sure?
Tattoo.
Oh, I see. Anyway, Anyway, let's have this conversation. Flipping it, Nads. Take it over. Go on. I've tried. I've tried.
I just had a reaction rather than a response. And we're also going to be talking about coercive control. This is a story that both Mark and I were a bit confused about, to be honest. And we're also going to be talking about a new book of Oxfam language rules.
Yeah, sort of pamphlet type thing. Anyway,
First of all, did anyone see our Instagram post yesterday? Did anyone see the spoof we did of Victoria and David Beckham?
Yeah, I've still got a mark on my arm. Can't get the
And
bloody
if
magic
so,
marker off.
We were in hysterics last night because Mark did something that we then had to do something about, and somebody spotted it. So we just, because you are the greatest spotters of all, our followers here, we just wondered if any of you had spotted it. And if you do later, do tell us. I just couldn't believe somebody spotted that.
They must have freeze-framed it because I couldn't spot it and I did it.
Wow.
Don't have it Insta. Andrea Crash, it's really easy. Just go and get it. Seriously.
Get Instagram, you're missing out.
So much fun. Used to be a really creative platform, but now it's just silly.
It's just silliness.
Which is great.
Well, no, it is creative
Who
as well.
doesn't mind
Depends who
silly?
you are.
Incredibly creative.
Depends who you are.
And if you check out Funny Shit on our members area No Name Sunday show, you'll also discover that TikTok is an incredibly funny place, as well as a means for the Chinese government to monitor the West. Yeah, it's all those things. Quite something, isn't it, that the Chinese are monitoring us through skits about animals and people falling off buildings.
No, it's not that Mark farted, though he did. And he said it was because I pulled his arms too hard.
Can I just
was my
explain?
fault.
It was a
But that's not
remarkably
what we're talking
liberating exercise because about 18 farts came out.
Stop it. God, I wonder if David and Victoria realised that it was going to be a wind cleansing moment for the nation.
So wind cleansing.
Yeah, if anyone is suffering with trap wind, honestly, do try that exercise because I actually couldn't believe what was happening.
It was astonishing. It was liberating. Forget a coffee enema. I've never understood that. Coffee enemas. I mean, people literally
Well, if
fire
you think
caffeine
about it,
up
when
your
you
arse.
drink a coffee, you really want, everyone always wants to go to the loo.
I don't.
You could tell when people have had a coffee, they go, I'm just going to go out for a second.
No, only you get caught out in that fashion.
Mark,
Yes, you do.
No, everybody does. Everybody does. It's just you.
It doesn't make me do that.
I know, but it does everyone else.
Does anyone remember the infamous Vlogmas where Nadia nearly had to take a shit
Mark,
in a Sainsbury's bag for life?
I can't.
I mean, it's a classique. Great to cheer you up on a Friday.
But where had we been just before?
A bookshop? No.
For a coffee.
Oh, God. It was urgent.
Mark.
Do you remember? You almost had a tail.
It was so awful. I was
Like, it's
crying
me
in
because you're showing
Sainsbury's.
off in front of me.
Yeah, she's so showing off because Maddie's here. It's just embarrassing. She knows it, I know it, we all know it.
So
Can't
what?
help it.
So what? I'm showing off actually because of you guys. My favourite episode
Once
ever,
Ma-
says Ross Souch.
Once Maddie came in and she was like licking lovely and Mark went, oh, yeah, I love you. And it was like, it wasn't like
No,
acting.
I was asking if you guys liked my skirt, and you just said, oh.
Yeah. I was-
Yeah. Once Maddie said, do you like my skirt? And he went, oh, no. Oh my God, we took a piss out of him for ages. Because you literally didn't know the words were coming out of your mouth, did
No.
you? But you loved her so much in a skirt. 'Cause she was
Yeah.
like your little girl.
Yeah, I know. Andrea Crash says farting is good for you. It means your bowels are working.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Why didn't you fart last night?
I think we need to move this on. It's got puerile.
Bex Burns says using labour techniques to hold a poo in. It means you've got no strength
Right.
down there.
Let's go. Excuse me. It wasn't me that was bloody levitating last night. It was you.
I
How can you
I
say
was
that?
in perfect control of tone and pitch.
You said I pulled your arm and you farted. That is a person who is not in control of their
No, it's
wind.
not. I'm like a one-armed bandit. A one-armed fart bandit.
Right.
Love this crappy chat. Oh, hang on a minute. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all our Irish
Can
followers.
we have some Irish music?
There are some. Well, that's a bit. Isn't that a bit racist?
What?
It's sort of caricaturing with that. Is there Irish music?
I love Irish
okay.
music. It always makes. Why is that racist?
I don't know. I just sometimes think just because we're talking about Ireland, maybe most Irish people are like,
Yeah,
oh,
but
why
if
do
we
they
were
always trot
talking-
out the Irish music? Maybe people in Ireland don't like
Oh my
Irish
God, please
music.
forgive me if I'm being racist. I had no idea I was being racist. I mean, if it was great Middle Eastern Day, I would say, let's get some more wild music. It's a celebration. Now, if I was to just jump up and start being silly as what is, if I was doing something stupid like, I don't know, what is insulting to the Irish, but not the music. Is there anybody Irish here that can tell me whether I've been...
I do apologise. That was Nadia's stomach.
I'm Irish, I love the music this
All
day.
right.
This will follow on well to our Oxfam chat. This is ridiculous now. Oh, okay, forget it. Oh, God. That's beautiful. I want to be walking through a misty green land. With mist rising. Should we have it running underneath? No, don't go too far. You always go too far. Stop.
We got something good.
Come on, everybody.
For some reason that comes up
Straight after the Irish music.
Well, no, look, it's Irish music. This
Zoe
is a
says,
good one.
Zoe says, and Zoe is Irish, so we're not being insulting. Zoe said, put on Riverdance. Go on, do a dance for the Irish. Come on, you've asked for it, guys. You want a bit of Riverdance. Go on, Mark. Don't forget they don't use their arms. Down. Don't move. Come backwards. Go backwards. Go forwards. And forwards, Mark. Oh, no, keep your back straight. That's his knees gone. That's his knees and his back gone.
Philip Schofield doesn't do that.
Oh, well done. Well done. And I'm going to be making a Guinness cake today to show you one I prepared earlier tomorrow on the Curly Cooks.
So,
Or maybe I'll just make cupcakes, then I can make them there and then.
You can make
I
cupcakes
could
with
make Guinness cupcakes.
the colour of the Irish flag on it.
Because I think a lot of people be celebrating tomorrow, won't they? Saturday night. and
What's
that.
an Irish pudding? Give us an Irish pudding, guys.
We couldn't find a lot actually when me and Dina were looking.
Crack.
No, that's Scottish crack.
NNPT.
Crack and that's
Good. Oh no, good crack. So you're saying
cream.
that was a good
Oh, that's
crack.
a good crack.
Sorry.
Do you
Oh,
need
hang
a
on,
li-
hang on. What did you just say you're making?
No, I'm not.
No, but what did you say you were
No,
making?
I didn't say I'm making
For the
anything.
Sunday show. You've just said you were going to make one earlier. What was it?
That's for the Saturday show.
What-
Curly
what?
Cooks. The Guinness cake.
There's a pudding.
No, but it's not a pudding. A cake, it's not a pudding.
Why is it called a cake?
Because it's not a cake, it's not a pudding.
What the fuck is a cake then?
It's just a cake. You can't even call it a dessert.
Yeah, but you don't eat cake before you eat savoury,
No,
do
but
you?
you have it in the afternoon. Or at 11 o'clock.
Bailey's
No, on your way to
cheesecake,
bed.
Zoe says. That's a good idea.
Bailey's cheesecake.
Oh, lots of people are saying that. Sheila Collins says, say Caid Mil Fate. Caid Mil Fate. Is that right?
What does it mean?
Oh, God. Cake isn't pudding.
It's not pudding. What defines a pudding? Can someone look up the definition of a pudding?
What does the word pud come from?
Irish stew?
Irish stew. Is that a pudding? I don't think
That's
that's
not
a pudding.
pudding.
Make Irish potato farls, says Martina McKeown.
Well, we were a bit worried because tomorrow... Cause
Still
today
out of breath,
is-
Tez.
Today is St Patrick's Day.
Right. Well, we can stretch it a bit, can't we?
I think so. Something with cream. Oh, anything with cream is... Yeah, because of course the cream is very good in Ireland.
Is there an Irish coffee? Of course there's an Irish coffee.
Are you fucking serious? Is there an Irish coffee?
Are you fucking serious?
Is there an Irish coffee?
I've just realised as I said it.
Maybe
what
that's
an
what we should get
absolute
you to make tomorrow.
cataclysmic moron I was.
Let's get you to make that tomorrow on the Curly Cooks.
Sounds good to me.
Hang on, I need to text Dina because she's at Sainsbury's.
Make a note. She's making a note. This is her making a note.
What do we need for an Irish coffee?
Oh, I love that. Look, Shona Costello says, hang on. Caid Milfelt, oh, I wish I could speak Irish, is 100,000 welcomes. You say it like Caid Mila Falca. Caid Mila Falca. It's a beautiful language, isn't it? Has anyone seen The Quiet Girl? I think it's not the first Irish language film, but it's one of the sort of few Irish language films that's really cut through, and it was nominated for an Oscar. You've got to see it, The Quiet Girl. It's a beautiful film.
Okay.
Beautiful Irish film. Beautiful actress.
Too many films I want to see.
Oh, Nads.
I keep trying to pin Maddie down
Oh, Nads.
to watch him with me.
What's wrong with you?
Pudding. Oh, somebody's given us the definition.
Definition.
The pudding, thank you, Brenda PA, is... Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, it's jumping, Mark.
Yeah, because you're-
Flavoured custard-like dessert made of milk, sugar, a thickening agent such as egg yolks or cornstarch. I thought that's probably what made a pudding.
Oh, right.
So what defines it? That's not Irish.
It is.
Turn it down. That's not Irish, is
You
it?
put in Irish house music, that's what comes up.
Oh, house. I don't
Irish
like
house.
that.
All right.
Oh, Ellie Dennings, lovely daddy, birthday is St Patrick's Day. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Okay, so pudding is a type of food. It can be either a dessert or a savoury dish.
Yeah,
Served as
Yorkshire
part of the
pudding.
Of course, of course.
But what defines a dessert? Because if they say just anything sweet, then we are going to have to acquiesce
What the hell are you talking about?
and say you were right, the cake is a dessert. Trouble is, where we've got confused is people started putting chocolate fudge cake on dessert menus, and it never should have got in there.
Well, I'm confused.
And now people are confused and think that they can call a cake a dessert.
What does that mean? What was I going to say? Did you know that pies used to be called coffins?
Did they?
Yeah.
Why?
Because, I don't know, putting the lid on was like a coffin. I think that's where the word coffin comes from.
God.
The huge Galaxy bar I have just bought, Carly, you know. Have you seen the extra big
I'm
ones?
a Cadbury's girl.
Galaxy is just something
I do
else.
like some of the Galaxy things, but if I'm choosing between a block of chocolate,
Welcome back, Tez.
between Cadbury's and thingy, it's going to be Cadbury's.
I was doing a run around a wreck the other day, and I was wearing the cap that Tez sent me for the Chicago Cubs. And what's the likelihood of this, Tez? In West Norwood, I ran past a man who was running the other way, and he had exactly the same Chicago Cubs cap on.
Oh God, we're in trouble. Read Kelly.
Kelly
She's got
M.
the definition of dessert.
The term dessert applies to many confections, such as biscuits. Well, I should know this. We did bloody documentaries about it. Biscuits, cakes, cookies, custards, gelatins, ice creams, pastries, pies, puddings, macaroons, sweet stoops, tarts, and fruit salad.
Right.
Do you remember a fruit salad? I haven't had a fruit salad for years.
What, a real fruit salad? I hate fruit salad. If I go to somebody's house, they give me fruit salad for pudding, I'm really pissed off.
Did you notice how in
Especially
a fruit...
when, I know Jackie Vellino, there's no Lidl in Crystal Palace.
Did you notice how
Yeah.
fruit salads, the orange was always bitter? Really bitter, the orange.
It's just all bits, all those different bits of fruit, and then you get a slice of banana.
Okay, let's push on. We haven't touched on
let's do the news.
Okay, the serious story, which I was a bit confused by, is the story that domestic killers with a history of coercive behaviour face tougher sentences. Now, obviously...
We were talking around this, weren't we, last week when they were
Yeah.
saying they were changing the laws?
I mean, obviously, any tougher sentence for someone who is a domestic abuser or has committed domestic violence has got to be good. But there was something about this story that kind of perplexed me, which is domestic killers with a history of coercive control would face tougher sentences. If you've killed someone...
So if you're a domestic killer and they haven't got any record of you previously doing anything, do you get a lesser sentence?
Apparently you get a lesser sentence or a higher sentence if you have a... There's a gradation of sentencing that if you have a knife, it's more severe, but if you don't have a knife and kill someone, it's not. I mean, how do they draw distinctions?
And it's just tragic because, of course, so
Too late by then, says Steph. It doesn't really matter. I mean, of course it matters, but it doesn't really... I mean, punish coercive controllers and domestically violent people more. But if you kill someone, presumably...
I just don't understand. And of course, as we know, once we've got to that tragic end, invariably that person will have gone through so much more before that's and never told a soul even, or never told a soul, even the people close to them, let alone the police. So it's like, unless we've got a record of it.
Well, the bit that I think I've homed in on the bit that confuses me isn't killing someone in a domestic setting the ultimate coercive control and domestic violence.
Yeah.
And therefore punish. I mean,
Are we not understanding something, guys? What do you understand?
I mean,
this to mean? I find
the
it
law
very
change is
strange.
being welcomed by charities and what have you. But I suppose maybe because there are these strange, arbitrary gradations, it's just good news that people are going to be thrown away for longer. But it's just odd that I just find it odd that it's more severe. Murder is murder, YouTube. Oh, thank God that's kind of what I thought when I saw the story. But anyway, it's a big story and it's trending everywhere. So yeah, I mean, and as I say, higher sentences is good, but surely when you've got to the point, once you've got to the point.
The other day, I never watch on, when sometimes on Instagram and these things come up, sensitive thingy, I never watch that because I think we've all got a bit too, what's the word, Mark, when you're looking at things, too voyeuristic around terrible things happening. But it was around, domestic abuse. And I clicked on it and I was just absolutely astonished. I'm not going to say what happened, but it was just this guy and he was in a block of flats and he was pulling this woman out of the flat because obviously it wasn't enough, beating her up inside the flat, or maybe she tried to escape. And it was the violence he was meting out on this woman, what just blew my mind. And then all of a sudden a neighbour came out and he was an old guy and he had a gun and he was shaking and he said, stop it, like this, like he wasn't. And do you know what? That young, fit, muscly guy that was doing this to this woman stopped. And the woman ran into the old guy's flat. And I was thinking, my God, you know, this isn't a complete loss of like mad control. This like quite scared guy with a gun scared this big bully, and the bully let go of her. And so I wonder if somewhere in there, we always assume that somebody's just gone so bloody nuts that they couldn't control themselves. They're a violent beast and they couldn't control themselves and they did it. And so maybe if there is this extra thought somewhere, I don't know, if somebody thinks, God, I've been done so many times before for this, you know, she's called the police and here, I just wish I could understand the thinking behind it, because I don't, because I can't see how it would be a deterrent.
What, this?
Yeah.
Oh, right, sorry, I thought you were talking
Because
I
just
didn't really
to
understand the story.
yeah, sorry, I wasn't making much sense. I was just surprised by what a coward he actually was.
Right.
This young,
But once you've killed
muscly
someone, you've
person.
killed someone, regardless of how much of a coward you are, right?
Yeah, but
I mean, you know, the fact that he was cowardly, if someone died, I mean, yes, you punish for coercive control and domestic violence,
Yeah.
however it happens, and presumably, you know, but if someone dies as an end result of it, then...
But anybody that does, like, mete out domestic abuse is a cowardly bully, aren't they? They are a coward, they're a bully. And I suppose why it's being heralded, this is any squeezing of them, any extra law, any extra...
Yeah, I mean,
might
that's
stop
why,
these
yeah.
bullies. And I didn't make a good connection, you're absolutely right.
No,
Total
I
rubbish.
wasn't saying...
But it was just so bizarre. I would never have thought that this guy, what I was watching him do, would stop by an old man with a gun saying stop.
I mean, just quickly, going back to, obviously there's no connection between sentencing in America and sentencing in the UK, though I'm sure there are some patterns, similar patterns. But did you see the guy who was released yesterday from a Florida jail who was wrongly sentenced to 500 years?
Oh my God, Mark, don't.
And he'd served 34.
30, yeah. I listen to a lot of these cases on podcast. I only listen to them if it's a really good interview with the person in prison. I don't want loads of just conjecture and nobody really knows, but I love it because I am so continuously gobsmacked at the complete lack of justice that goes on. I mean,
which is a strong. I mean, just that case
God.
alone is a strong argument for the death penalty. I mean, I think there's a curious
No, for
statistic.
no death penalty.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
An
You
argument
said a
against
strong
the
argument
death.
for death
Sorry, for the death penalty being abolished, because
Yeah.
I think it's quite a high number. Something like 10 to 20% of people on death row are discovered to have been innocent or wrongly accused. I mean, obviously, embedded racism is a huge part of that too. But anyway, so that's that story. Quick. This isn't really a lot to say other than if you need a new passport, get it in quick. Holiday warning, as passport office workers are now going to strike for 5 weeks with a huge impact on deliveries. We have various passports.
If only
that need
we'd
to be
done ours
rejigged.
3 days ago when we said we would, because everybody's going to bloody be doing this
Yes,
now.
so there's going to be a rush. So and of course these days it's like I never understand this. So you have an expiry date, but you need an expiry date before the expiry date because various countries won't. You need 6
Since
months
Brexit.
more. So why don't they add more time to you? It's just ridiculous.
Because you're eventually going to run out of time.
I know, but just make it permanent. It's ridiculous. I just don't understand unnecessary bureaucracy. It's just nonsense. So anyway, passport, that's huge.
There's going to be a whole lot of staycations this year anyway. I mean, it's just so expensive to go away.
But I think many other sectors, because many sectors are getting their rightly so, are getting their demands met. I think some health unions are getting 5% pay rise, aren't they? Then I think every sector's coming out. Other big story that's in our headline is Oxfam has issued a guide which anti-woke journalists are kind of targeting because it uses bizarre language for using English and warns staff not to use words like mother and people. Now,
just a quick word on woke.
Yeah.
Just say a quick word on woke. I always say this because Leo taught me this and I still tell everyone, they go, oh, I didn't know that's what it meant. Because it's been used as a weapon now, woke, the word woke, is weaponised by the right-wing press. Oh, so that we just all go, oh, what's this woke thing? Oh, get really angry so that we don't look at what they're doing. And it just means to be more awake to other people's sensitivities, other people's needs, other people's histories and what is wrong with being more awake to how other people feel. And sometimes we do go too far.
That's my point. And
Sometimes
I think
we
that
do.
I think that middle
But
ground.
I hate the way it's used as a
I think
weapon.
people sort of feel they need to identify as anti all of this stuff or pro
For
all of it.
Yeah,
And I
very
think-
good point.
and I
Why
think-
can't we just be...
And I think there's middle ground here. Anyway, Oxfam has been slammed by mostly Conservative MPs for a bizarre new inclusive language that's been issued to staff, and they don't want to use... Now, some of these, I want to know what you think. Pregnant mother, you can't use. I'm not entirely certain about that one. People, you can't use because people may assume that the word people means men. I didn't know that. I've never assumed people means men
Have
at
you
all.
ever thought people means men?
No, not at
Has
all.
anybody... Can we just ask that? Just do a poll on that.
Yeah, Tez
Has
wanted a
anyone
poll.
ever thought when you see the word people that you are assuming that is you've assumed that's only men?
Have you ever
Maddie's,
thought
that's a no from Maddie.
the word
And Maddie is
people
very awake.
means
She's young and she's
men?
awake to everything. She teaches us all the time.
So let me share some others with you. I do think not using the word mother and father is important. And I say this from experience as being a teenager who lived in a lesbian household. Parents, I mean, it makes sense to me that you always refer to parents as parents because you just don't know what the makeup is of parenting these days. So that's an example of where
And
I
that's so nice that you're here as the child, the adult child of a gay parent to absolutely say that.
Oh, yeah,
that would
yeah.
have meant really
It
meant...
meant, yeah, because people would go, well, your father. And
Yeah.
I'd be like,
So
well,
somebody here now who might have just read that and gone, oh, why can't we say parents, is now awake to that. So that's what woke means.
They don't want you to use words like youth and the elderly. They should be avoided to allow people to remain dignified.
Well,
The word youth
my
is used
parents don't
pejoratively.
like being called elderly.
No.
And I think youth has become a derogatory term. Oh, the youth of today. So, it's interesting. It is interesting because it makes you think,
The start of
these
this...
are just guidelines.
Yeah,
are
the
they, right?
start of this book contains an apology about the English language. Quote, we recognise that this guide has its origin in English, the language of a colonising nation. We acknowledge the Anglo-supremacy of the sector as part of its coloniality. I don't know, is coloniality a word? This guide aims to support people who have to work and communicate in the English language as part of this colonial legacy. Now, that can easily be seized upon by people going, what, we can't use the English language, we're trapped in a colonial language. But it's important to remember Oxfam is issuing this to many parts of the world which were once part of the English colonies. So, again...
And have suffered greatly.
Yeah,
under
again, it's an
so-
aspect that one would, you don't see in these articles. They say this guide isn't
Me
prescriptive.
too. English language does have built-in historical
absolutely.
legacies. That is kind of true. And I suppose, this is Oxfam, it's like you say, Mark, that works in all these countries where this is very relevant.
But it does say here, the word people should be used cautiously, as it's often misunderstood as only referring to men.
Did we do the poll?
I've done a poll.
Has anyone ever...
96% say no.
Oh, 95. 5% say yes.
Well, yeah, no, but more
No,
significant.
but I'm
yeah,
quite
the vast
interested that
majority-
anyone would say yes.
Well, they must do, because someone at Oxfam thinks it.
I was wondering if it was a misprint.
They've come out, so they've obviously come under criticism. I do think pregnant mother, see, that's when I stop a little bit. I know it's all about a pregnant person, but I don't understand why you can't have pregnant person and pregnant mother. I don't understand why you can't. I don't understand why, if we want to be inclusive, and we should be, of all varied types of woman, man, on the sliding scale of gender fluidity, I don't understand why we then can't tolerate the word mother too as part of that. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
I don't understand that.
Well, there's a lot we don't understand, but there's a lot we haven't understood that we now understand.
True.
So it's
Oh.
like it's an ever educating.
Okay.
It's an ongoing education.
I really want to ask you guys this one. This one is
Maddie, I love you.
The 92-page guide advises staff to avoid saying they stand with because it's ableist and alienates people unable to stand. I want to ask you what you think of that. Is the word stand ableist?
And here's the interesting thing, right? That is something we cannot know because
No,
we don't have
exactly.
that experience at all. So I would really actually like to know that, because it is something that I would say without thinking.
And they mean to stand with, not literally to stand up, but to
So
stand
what
with
should you
someone.
say instead?
To stand with, they don't give you. I'm supporting.
Supporting.
I suppose I'm supporting. We'll let that poll just run for a little bit longer. So anyway, again, when you see these headlines, it's often a right-wing journalist wanting to really just attack it all. But there are some aspects in there that I think are considerate in a sense. So yeah, got anything else to say about that before we?
No, I just think it's interesting, isn't it? And I think that we will always talk about these things where often people go, "Oh, I may not say anything about that," because what we want is to keep on learning. That's what we want, and just to go, "Oh God, I never thought of that."
Tamara Salter, as a disabled person, I don't take the phrase as ableist.
No.
Faith Goodman, I am deaf and disabled in a wheelchair, so what am I supposed to be called now?
Well, what do you want to be called? I suppose would be the question.
Tiggy says, do we all have to stop saying, "Oh, I see," because of blind people? For fuck's sake, this is so ridiculous.
That is very, very... I have to say, when I've been in the presence of blind people, I have
Someone else doesn't find it ableist either. Debbie Watkins.
Yeah, I've so many times I've said things and thought, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah, but that's considerate, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's just like you kind of like have to change so much. You can't have a flu. What I think is a real problem is if we start to trip so much on what we're saying that we avoid a person in a wheelchair. We don't go and have the chat with the blind person.
Hi, Tez.
We are so worried about saying the wrong thing that we avoid people. And I think we are dangerously close to that. And I think that's a real shame when we're trying to encourage more and more diversity and more inclusion. And by accident, what we can cause sometimes, and in certain arenas, division. Because people go, "Oh, I'm not going to say anything in case I say the wrong thing."
Well, suddenly
everything
becomes very unnatural as well, doesn't it? Because you're checking yourself all the time.
I would be really frustrated if I was in a wheelchair, if I had any of these things. I was thinking that person's now avoiding me because they're scared to say the wrong thing.
Look, I mean, a fifth of people do find it ableist, so that's much more than, what was the other one we just did? What was the other word? Stand.
Stand by me.
Oh, sorry, no, this
Stand.
is stand. What was the other one we just did? I've completely forgotten. What was the other poll? Bloody hell, my short-term memory's fucked. Okay.
So lots of people saying that they feel everybody is too sensitive. There's a lot of people here saying that it's gone. They think it's gone too
Marjorie
far.
Dudon. People are so sensitive nowadays. You don't need anyone to tell you how to say such things. You are taught to be kind to others as kids. Leave it at that.
What about? I mean, what would be the way around this? Because I really do believe we are causing a lot of division by being too quick to jump on people.
Oh, yeah.
And I
People,
suppose...
thank you very much.
But you see, I didn't mean men then. I meant everyone.
No. I was asking what the last poll was.
No, but you see what I mean? I'm like going, people, do everybody think I'm just... we don't want to make... We have a beautiful language and we don't want to just get so sticky with it. And I just think we've got to just...
Oh, sorry.
People who are offended, why can't we have a place where people say... Do you know what?
I don't like that word.
You definitely didn't mean anything. You had no intention of upsetting me. But that word for me is, why can't we do more of that?
Or maybe we should be in a situation where if anyone says something to a particular person who's uncomfortable with it, you say it, but you kind of understand that it's not meant horribly. I don't know.
I went to a comedy night last week to saw Lee at the Commedia, and there was, I wish I could remember the name of the comedian now, has cerebral palsy. And he came out, and I cannot believe how outrageous he was. And
What about?
just everything, the language he used and everything, the way he was taking the piss out of
Was he
himself.
was he disabled?
Very cerebral palsy,
Oh, right.
very, very, I don't know if we say disabled anymore.
Well, Maggie Say
say?
says, I think people feel nervous to talk to minority groups or about them, in a sense, because they are scared of offending and getting it wrong. I mean,
exactly. That's what I mean. And then you get division, don't you? So it was interesting for me because when he came out and he started, I
didn't know at the time.
I turned to my friends and I was like, I'm finding this really challenging. And Kaz, I'd never seen anyone. a comedian like that. And Kaz said, why? I said, because I don't know how I'm supposed to be. And Kaz said, just be you.
Yeah.
Because she sees lots. She lives in Brighton. And I was like, I hate this. That I'm like, because I love to just respond to things and react to things. And now I just feel like I'm constantly going. But in the end, I just relaxed into it. And my God, he made me laugh. I've got to get his name. He was so funny and so clever. And that's his way of dealing with, you know, he goes to what he thinks people might be thinking.
Yeah.
And because of that, I found it really inclusive because you felt easier with him by the end of it. I thought it was so powerful. What he did in that set in 15 minutes taught that whole room so much, really.
Yeah. Alison,
I'm going on. I'm not making any sense today. Am I?
You are. It's just time. Alison Hammond, confirmed as the new Great British Bake Off.
Now, is she confirmed? Because some places
Alison
it
Hammond
says...
has confirmed.
Oh!
Now,
I love that.
I don't know an awful lot about her, but it seems like a really good choice.
Oh my
She's replacing Matt
God.
Lucas.
Well, I loved Matt Lucas as well, but as you know, I'm a huge fan of Alison's. I am thrilled to bits for her. I think she will be bloody brilliant. She is genuinely one of the funniest people. Like, around TV studios, spend an awful lot of time jumping into doors, avoiding people. I'm going to be honest.
Not Alison.
Never Alison. You go, Alison! And she goes, babes! She picks you up.
So she posted on Twitter, it's official, it's happening, with a lovely image of a cake, with an image of her and, what's his face? Forget his name. Noel Fielding and the guys. Yeah, he has got blue eyes though there, has he, Paul Hollywood? So I think that's a really good choice. Her energy, I think, will lift it. I mean, Matt Lucas was brilliant. I loved Matt Lucas. I loved him, but I almost felt he kind of reached...
Yeah, and that's why he left, because he said, I've done enough.
Yeah.
But also, she's just so good at putting... Because she's just so natural, she will put everyone really at their... It's not the celebrity one, is it?
No.
Because she's brilliant with celebrities,
Well,
but
I'm sure they'll
also
do both, won't they?
with Earthling. No, you have a different one for the celebrity.
Oh, right, okay. I'm a gynaecologist.
Oh, she's not, dear heart. She's not awful. Honestly, she's so lovely. Honestly.
Well, I'm not a gynaecologist, am I? No, I'm not a gynaecologist. Anyway, that's lovely news. I'm a gynaecologist, but do you know what a gynaecologist's worst issue is? It's not about whether you shave. It's not about whether you're very hairy. It's not about hygiene down there. Do you know what a gynaecologist's worst issue is with women?
What?
Have a guess. Have a think.
I don't even want to know this. I just would never go to a male gynaecologist.
Well, or female or male.
Have to have a female gynaecologist. I don't know.
Major complaint.
Them apologising for the way their vagina looks.
No.
Oh.
Smelly socks.
Oh.
Yeah. A number of gynaecologists said, please change your socks before you jump on the thing. They say it's one of the most sort of unthought about and horrible parts of being a
Women
gynaecologist.
have smelly socks.
Yeah. Apparently.
You didn't do McDonald's.
I didn't know. I'm going back to it. I didn't know that. So there you go.
Exactly, Reese. Hard graft and very fun and brilliant. Yeah, I'm chuffed to bits for her.
McDonald's. This has gone viral. This is someone who works for McDonald's who posted. Where did he post? I'm not sure. I think it might be on TikTok or. Anyway, he posted on his TikTok account the 10 most annoying things that customers in McDonald's do, and I've heard this happen in front of me. So he's shared some videos on TikTok, and he was in the staff room.
I'm a bit worried he's going to get sacked.
Well, yeah, exactly.
How the fuck?
Things that customers say or do which baffle me. I'm not going to name him. Starting the ball rolling, he says that he can't stand it when people ask if the French fries are hot before ordering them.
Which would have been fine, but he's put, how the fuck would I know? Is what he thinks. No, McDonald's won't like that.
Well, theoretically, though, maybe people are complaining that they're always cold. And let's face it, they often are. Harry...
No, they're not. They're only cold if you get a takeaway.
That's true.
I've never had cold
That is very
chips.
true, actually. He also said he found it frustrating when people aren't specific regarding their drink orders. Often people say, I want a coffee. He says, which one? And they say, just a coffee.
Now, what people are doing there is they're the people that hate the fact that we've gone more American and we have a latte and we have a caramel thing. And so they're just going, just a coffee.
Or maybe it's people who don't realise there's choice.
They want a filter coffee.
Yeah, maybe people just don't realise there's choice. I take exception to this. People who ask for a cheeseburger with no cheese instead of just ordering a hamburger.
But does a cheeseburger have an extra bit of pickle or something in it?
God, look at you. Mind you, you are so fussy with what you order.
You're
like Meg Ryan in When Harry Met Sally. If you go into a restaurant and I just see what there is, you go, I'll have that. Nadja's like, I'll have that, but can I have on the side? Can I have a little bit of this, a garnish? Can you take the whatever
No,
out?
but I'm
And it's
always
just like,
nice. Don't make me sound like a wanker.
no, you're not nice. But it's just like, I feel like just getting out of the restaurant. He also hit back at customers.
But he will also order something, and I'll look at him, and he's eating, and I'll go, that needs more such and such or something, doesn't it? And he goes, how did you know? Because I can tell from your face, you're like unhappiness with it.
Yeah.
It's torture for me to go out and eat with people because I'm like, I know that's going to be dry.
It's torture eating out because all of our food is so much better than everywhere. He hit back at customers who complained about a quarter pounder having cheese in it. I didn't know a quarter pounder did
Has
have
two
cheese
pieces of cheese in it. I know my McDonald's. It's so funny because people go, oh, but you really look after your gut and everything. But the point is, if you look after your gut, you can sometimes have these lovely things.
He also took issue with people who shout their order loads and loads of times.
I can't. What do they mean?
Well, when people asking for their order, they shout so many times what their order is.
Can I have a Big Mac? Can I have a Big Mac? Can I have a Big Mac? Is that what he means?
I guess so. I don't know. He gets really pissed off when people ask for extra toppings on their McFlurry. He does stress in his PS, I do love my job. It's just that some customers confuse me. Do you do anything odd in McDonald's? I don't like the gherkins.
Oh, God, you walk around McDonald's and you just see all these little floppy bits of gherkins, don't you? But then there's always, Maddie asks for my gherkin, so it's quite good. But sometimes I wouldn't not want the gherkin in it because I just like the flavour it gives.
I hate a gherkin.
But do you know in the Big Mac sauce it has gherkin in
chopped finely.
Yeah, and
I
it
do
has a
know
bit
that.
of the
I do know
vinegar.
that. I'm happy with that. I don't mind horrible ingredients hidden. I'm all right with that. Now, this is my and finally story. This made me piss myself with laughter, though in a weird way, it's quite chilling. This is Adrian Childs. He went online and he was really both perplexed.
Quiz is happening, Faith.
He was perplexed and unsettled by the fact that there is a person who imitates him on OnlyFans, naked, reading out his articles, doing sexual things. Adrian Childs shares horror after discovering naked lookalike on OnlyFans.
So he's a lookalike. He hasn't done a deep fake.
No, not a deep fake.
Oh.
But he's saying he's Adrian Childs. He's being Adrian Childs. Mike claims that he's been paid to strip while reading the weekend's football scores, as well as being offered £500 to read Childs' Guardian column while masturbating.
Weird. Oh, look, Adrian Childs just popped up.
Of course he has. While masturbating.
Oh, God.
Writing in his own column, this is where Adrian Childs is very funny.
He's very funny.
The former One Show host said that he'd been sent the cover online and describing how the pictures featured an all but naked man with his bits obscured. Childs said, I expanded the image so I could read the text. I got the gist of the story and I recoiled in horror. He said at the end here, though, so lots of people commenting on it, what did he say? His final line was really funny.
What was that about when he pinched the page and it went smaller?
I've lost
What was
that.
that? It's there. It looked like it was funny.
I've lost it.
After a few, I pinched the page smaller again so I could read no more. I'd
Yeah,
seen
so
as much. After a few deep, long exhale, short inhale, as the mindfulness manuals advise, I flicked the screen bigger again. I could only bear to read it one paragraph. I love that he did read it.
One claim that horrified Childs was that he has fetishists called Chilies, who start off making vanilla requests to Mike before moving on to the hard stuff. He's getting paid more for doing what he said he was doing while reading out my column than I got for writing it, Childs says. What's the world coming to? Anyway, it just struck me as bizarre that there is an appetite for anything.
The world has gone completely effing mad.
Absolutely mad. Okay, so it's time for the quiz of the week. So,
and if anyone can notice what's on Mark's chest on our Instagram post on either of our pages,
has anyone noticed? Where are they answering that?
they can put it under here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, pop it when this is
We
uploaded.
haven't done Mark on Friday.
I'm about to do it.
Oh.
Come on.
Love ya.
Jump up and we'll get you to, you can do the jingle, baby.
I've got a bad foot.
Hang on.
next to you. Oh,
Fuck off Friday.
my foot is bad. I
rubbish.
can't move.
That was rubbish.
Yeah, because of my foot.
That was
My
absolute
Achilles.
rubbish. Okay, guys, so any of you who don't want to do the quiz, obviously head off and have a lovely, lovely Fuck Off Friday. I'm going to do the quiz with those of you left behind, Faith and Co. I know you like to do the quiz. I'm just going to... Oh, blast. I've just lost all your comments here because they go up too fast. So let me Oh, YouTube. Let me just, oh God, this is annoying. Sorry, bear with me, guys. Get your pens and paper, get your pens and paper. And get ready to go, get ready to rumble. So, bloody hell, what have I done? Sorry about this, guys. Right, okay. Let me just make sure that that's gone. Okay, good luck, everyone. A-Frog, Jew Osler. Let's get going. Looking forward to it. Yay, says Fifi Chromac. Okay, here we go. Question 1. Why have some Parisians been holding their noses? Is it the onions? A, an international garlic festival. B, a strike by rubbish collectors. Or C, raw sewage in the River Seine. Going insane on the River Seine. And don't forget to pop below what was written on my chest. Go and microwave yourself. I can't say it. Go and microwave yourself. Lots of you saying, Martina McKeown, that's too kind on a Friday. Bless you, bless you, bless you. You really are, you just don't, you're naughty. Okay, so lots of you saying C, but as many of you saying B. C or B, you're saying a strike by rubbish collectors or C, raw sewage. It's B, a strike by rubbish collectors. Question 2. At the Oscars, Ke Huy Quan won Best Supporting Actor for his role in Everything Everywhere All at Once. But in which film in Steven Spielberg's Indiana Jones series did he make his debut? Was it A, Raiders of the Lost Ark, B, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, or C, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? I think a lot of people will. He won the Best Supporting Actor Oscar. So was it A, Raiders of the Lost Ark, B, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, or C, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade? He was also in The Goonies, Christine Miller. Lots of you saying B, Temple of Doom, short round. C, Joe Osler is saying The Last Crusade. Dearheart says you don't like a lot of people today, do you, Dearheart? Emma Atkins, B, Indiana Jones. A lot of you are saying it right. He was also in California Man. B is the right answer, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Question 3. An asteroid about the size of an Olympic swimming pool is headed towards Earth on which day in 2046? Good God. 76. Is it A, Valentine's Day, B, St. Patrick's Day, or C, Christmas Day? An asteroid the size of an Olympic swimming pool, curious comparison, isn't it, is headed towards Earth on which day? A, Valentine's Day, B, St. Patrick's Day, or C, Christmas Day? Dearheart's grumpy today. That's okay, you're allowed to be grumpy. It's hashtag Fuck Off Friday, let's face it. Lots of you saying, I don't bloody know, says Dearheart. Lots of you are saying C, Christmas Day. Naomi Proverbs, hedging your bet, saying B or A. You can't do a quiz and have two answers. Clodagh Egan saying A. Haven't seen any answers. Oh, Faith Goodman, Christmas Day. That's what I went for. Shonsta Migmon, B, St. Patrick's Day. Gillian Barnes and Angela Thompson are right. It's Valentine's Day. You're not going to be hit by a heart, but you're going to be hit by an Olympic-sized swimming pool. You're not going to be hit by an arrow. Cupid's arrow isn't going to hit you, but an Olympic-sized swimming pool is. Question 4. King Charles is making his first appearance on a special set of stamps, but what do they depict? The Flying Scotsman, migratory birds, or garden flowers? King Charles's first appearance on a special set of stamps, but what are they? The Flying Scotsman, migratory birds, or C, garden flowers? Any philatelists? Is it philatelist? Is philatelist a stamp collector? I think it is, isn't it? Philatelist. Lots of you saying flowers. Oh, look, lots of you know this one. That's sweet. C. All of you saying C, garden flowers. You're absolutely correct. Question 5. Sweden has chosen its act for this year's Eurovision Song Contest and they have won it before, but who is it? A, Loreen, B, Mans Zelmerlo, or C, ABBA? Sweden have chosen its act for this year's Eurovision Song Contest. They've won it before, but who is it? Loreen, Mans Zelmerlo, or ABBA? Well, if it was ABBA, it would only be a sort of hologram, wouldn't it, of ABBA? A, Janine Amory, Katie K, A, Christine Bett is saying ABBA, Sadie C is saying ABBA. A bit would like ABBA, says Faith Goodman. Lots of you, you're all over the place on this one, guys. Quite a few of you saying A. You're right, it's Loreen. It's Loreen. I've never really got the excitement of the Eurovision Song Contest. I always just like Terry Wogan's commentary. And my nan would always watch it, but there we go. Question 6, and then we'll see how you're all doing. Question 6. The Indonesian island of Bali is planning to ban foreign tourists from doing what? A, public displays of affection. B, using motorbikes. Or C, camping on beaches. I've been to Bali. It's rather beautiful. Has anyone ever been to the Gili Islands? If you go to Bali, go to the Gili Islands. What is Indonesia banning foreign tourists from doing? A, public displays of affection. B, using motorbikes. Or C, camping on beaches. Obviously, it's a Muslim, predominantly Muslim country, so it could be A. Faith Goodman, motorbike. Lots of you saying C, camping on beaches. Yeah, I know what you mean. B, motorbike, says Andrea Crash. Using scooters, says MeTube. April Hill says B. Anne and Emma Atkins and Joan Williams all saying B. Final question, where are you at? Who's got 6 out of 6? Who's on the cusp of total victory? Hey, anyone got 6 out of 6? Come on. MeToo, bikes due to 170 crashes in 1 month. Okay, let's have a look. What have you got? Karen Reynolds, 5. Faith, 5. Laura, 5. Laura Williams. MeTube, 3. Oh, MeTube. Andrea Crash has got 6. Andrea Crash is in... You know, you could do this. You could do this. What's the answer? Sorry, it was motorbikes. Yeah, motorbikes, sorry. Russ Souch, 6. Russ. Pauline Roberts. Oh, well done, guys. Okay, final one. Singer Avril Lavigne confronted a topless protester on stage at Canada's Juno Awards. What was the campaigner's message? What was the topless campaigner's message? A, save the greenbelt. B, stop oil. Or C, Extinction Rebellion. Avril Lavigne confronted a topless protester on stage at the Canada's Juno Awards. What was the campaigner's message? A, save the greenbelt. B, stop oil. Or C, Extinction Rebellion. Naomi Proverbs says A. Laura Williams says A. Christine Bett says A. Sly Foxy and Dale Ibbotson are saying Extinction Rebellion. I think I would have done that. Lots of you saying C. Some of you saying B. Very few of you saying A. It's A. Save the green belt. Save the green belt. And there you have it, guys. There you have it. Oh God, what's going on here? Oh. So, that's your lot. Anyone get 7 out of 7? Anyone get 7 out of 7? Let's have a look. 4, Ruthie Toothy, 1. That's not bad. A Frog, 4. Laura Williams, 6. Faith Goodman. Oh, I couldn't see what you got there, Faith. What did you get? Lost you. 6 out of 7, Andrea Crash. 5 out of 7, says Faith Goodman. Gillian Barnes, 5 out of 7. Very, very good. Well done. John Cameron, no.
Friday quiz.
Christ, that was loud. Lots of 6s, but I'm not seeing any 7s there, guys. Anyway, have a fabulous hashtag Fuck Off Friday. And, you know, loads of content will be landing at some point, my lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, and happy St. Patrick's Day. Have a look. Someone got 8